Oh.
Hello!
Now we're live.
So close.
You have to watch the screen. It's
I wasn't watching the screen. I'm by your voice.
Your voice?
Welcome to the post-credit show where we talk about games we've been playing, movies we've been watching, and other sort of nerd stuff we have been doing. I'm
March.
Nick.
I'm Tony.
Yeah, I'm Chris.
Whew.
It is March.
It is
End of
March 31st. Tomorrow is the
Still.
day of...
I was going to say...
Then I will
shouldn't
hide
Blizz-
and not go on the internet at all.
It's Blizzard Day tomorrow.
Yeah, shouldn't Blizzard have something cool?
They always do, but it'll be tomorrow.
Last year, I didn't feel...
Last year was pretty subpar for them. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Who wants to
I keep
start?
adding to my list. I can start this week. I actually have my list done already.
I did my list.
Oh, I'm
Because every
good.
time, like I said, every time I miss a week with you guys, I need to...
You gotta really catch up.
I need to get down.
I keep making everybody else go before me. That way I can like make my list while they're talking.
Yes.
Okay. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, new episode.
How's it?
Good,
That's one of the ones I'm behind on. I'm
Sunday, so they're back on Sunday nights. Their ratings are actually
better
now than previous, which is good.
Good.
So they're attributing some of that to just during that like hiatus that they had. People were really trying to like put the word. Even Mark Hamill was tweeting about Brooklyn
good.
Nine-Nine because and people are like, you actually watched the show, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I wish Hitchcock and Scully actually got more screen time, like an actual story development. Like he's invested in the show enough to be like, I wish these people got more story development kind of thing, and so yeah, they've been talking themselves up, but yeah, it's back to fine form. The first episode back is actually really good, and that was what I watched.
And they're
last
in
week.
two episodes in right now, right?
2 episodes in, so
So I've got 2 episodes to catch up on.
there's a Safe House episode.
I saw a brief preview of that one.
Bottle of it.
It is a bottle episode. They've done a Safe House episode before. This one's much better because Jake is stuck with Kevin.
I know about that one. I heard.
And then the second episode in is a Doug Judy episode for the year. It's this year's Doug Judy episode. So it worked out pretty good. And they've actually started.
Is he still stealing cars?
No.
Okay, good.
No. And they've actually made it like a pun at this point where even Peralta's like, could you give me 12 months? Because he seems to pop up like once a year.
Meta.
So yeah, like they're in on it. So that's good. I watched Captain America: First Avenger
Yay.
because as I continue to do things around the house.
Oh, so you're a little behind on that marathon.
I'm not marathoning anything.
I think you're the only crazy person here.
How is that crazy?
One
crazy.
movie a week. Either way, Captain America:
it's
First
one
Avenger
movie a
because my wife agreed that if I do
Oh,
some
you guys,
other
that's
stuff
right,
around
that's
the house, she'll watch them, and by watch them she'll
Did
play.
she enjoy?
She'll play
Candy Crush.
Disney Emoji Blitz and Candy Crush on her phone while I watch the movie.
And you're like,
Yeah, and I'm like, this.
Pay attention.
And I know I'm like,
you should remember this quote that he says in
And
his
I'm
back
like, I'm
alley
just
because he's gonna say it again in the movie way
and I'm like,
down.
actually he says it a
all the
lot.
time.
Yeah.
He says it all.
After watching, because I've also watched Captain America: Winter Soldier, and yeah, he loves that line. That is like his go-to of like, I can do this all day. I can do this all day. Like pretty much, there should just be a
we
super
get it,
cut
Cap.
of-
You
yeah,
can
There
do
should be a
it all
shirt
day.
that says that.
yeah.
I
There
can do
should
this all
literally
day.
just be a super cut somewhere online of like Cap all like, I can do this all day. So either way, we watched that one. I still like that one. I still
It's
like
a weird
it.
one.
My least favorite.
It's a
I
weird
know
one to
it
watch.
is.
It's a weird one to watch.
It's on my bottom 5.
And I still enjoy it. Like I really do enjoy it. I think I just like the setting. I like them setting Cap up.
I like the aesthetic. I like that time period.
I think it's a nice piece for that kind of thing. And then I also watched Captain America: Winter Soldier, so that one
That was a
also,
better one.
That was that.
That's
Well,
top.
and it is
easy.
night and day. Like, but it's supposed to be. You're supposed to get a World War II flick, and then very modern spy espionage.
Post Avengers.
Oh man, what a put together of films.
Him putting his list together, and
Yeah.
it's like, he's got all this catching up to do.
Yeah, that one was good. So yeah, Captain America. If you haven't seen Captain America yet,
What are you
You
doing?
should probably get on
you
that.
should probably get
They
on.
are all on Netflix.
And here's the funny part is
For now.
Brian and I were looking up numbers just for Marvel movies, like box office
Oh, okay.
numbers, and First Avenger is still I think it's under Thor worldwide box office wise. First Avenger did not do that well, and I have to laugh because you watch First Avenger and it's like I get it. Chris Evans
So it's probably the
Chris Evans wasn't huge.
probably Avengers that really brought Cap
It was.
to what people like.
And then obviously anytime Robert Downey Jr. is in one of those movies, the box office numbers go up.
skyrocket
Yeah.
because it's that expectation.
Well, but people are like, oh, it's Iron Man. I know Iron Man. I'll go see the movie with Iron Man.
Well,
in it.
now it's Captain America now.
But then it's getting to that point now where it's like, oh yeah, like.
Well, like even my fiance is like, anytime Black Panther is on screen, she's like, yes, we're going. Doesn't
Right.
matter what film it is now, and he's just like new.
Yeah.
He's still fresh.
Yeah. Well, and I had to laugh because Chris Evans shows up on because we just finished watching Thor.
Yes.
Now we're into so Captain America. Like
So Avengers is next.
Well, no, because we skipped Iron Man 2, so we're gonna go back and watch Iron Man.
I would watch Iron
Right,
Man too.
yes.
It's pretty good.
Well, you need to set up Black Widow more than anything.
Yes.
Good movie, but you need to set up Black Widow more than anything before you watch Avengers.
Oh yeah, because if you just watch that,
Well, again, it won't really matter because my wife is only semi-paying attention. So.
and yeah, Black Widow's pretty small in that film, but
It
enough.
still introduces
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
character.
she does.
But either way, like we started watching Captain America, and my wife sits there going, "That's one of that's a Chris." And I'm like,
One
we
of the-
just
There's
watched
like
it.
3.
That's one
We
of the
just
3
watched
Chris's.
the movie, and she's like, "Not the one from Everwood," because she knows Pratt's coming up.
Wait,
Oh.
he's in Everwood?
Yeah,
I've never.
he was a big part of that show.
I've never watched it.
That's what I knew him from.
Parks
Because
and
I
Rec.
never.
I knew him from Parks and Rec.
Because I watched the first 2 episodes of Parks and Rec and went, "This show sucks."
It
And
gets better.
I know.
You should probably watch that.
I
did.
wanted to be on Netflix so hard.
it was on some streaming service because I was watching
Show
it
Me.
on something. Yeah, it was on
And then
Show Me. Show Me died.
caved.
But I was watching it on
Died.
Show Me, and I'm like, I started watching the first 2 episodes again, and I'm like, this show it sucks. And then I went online, and everybody's like, get to season 2. And I'm like, I have to go through an entire season?
I
They're
feel like I would just drop season 1 and just go into season 2 like cold.
you kind of can't.
No, with that show?
There's enough stuff going on
No.
that... But either way, like, someone's like, it's like The Office, and I'm like, no. The Office had me hooked, like...
The Office was a strange phenomenon. for
No,
me.
I don't say it hooked me like that. It took a while too.
No, yeah.
No, The Office, I think I was
The Office,
immediately
I
hooked
was...
into it.
Yeah, me too.
That whole first season.
I think for me,
Eh.
I don't know if it was for you, but like, because I was working in an office setting.
it's
It's kind of like why I enjoyed Community so much, because I was in post-secondary at
Yeah.
the time when that show was coming out. So I could, oddly enough, relate to the stupidity
some
of
of the
that
stupid
show.
stuff that was happening, yeah.
So-
either way, watch Captain America if you haven't watched Captain America yet. I also watched the first 2 episodes of Altered Carbon.
How do you enjoy it?
The first episode's a little weird because they're trying to set up everything, like the
universe. The whole
world
universe,
and
yeah.
the story.
Is it
and
4
the
episode or
character.
8 episodes?
8 or 10, some weird. Yeah, it's a number. I think 10.
Okay. Brian would know.
Brian would
watched.
know. He watched the whole
He
thing.
I
watched
want to
it.
say it's probably 10.
I think it's
They
10.
seem to
Fact
go with
check.
10.
Yeah, we can check, but-
fact
They
check.
other than the Marvel stuff, they seem to go with 10 as the magic number.
But either way, like the story plot is essentially is humans exist now with a chip in their spine, so it's in between like vertebrae 1 and
So
like
Blade Runner.
2 and 3. So there's a slot now built into your spine essentially.
As a baby?
I have no idea. Like they don't really explain that part. It's just that's how it works.
Okay.
You have a chip.
You've got 10 episodes.
10. So either way, the chip. If you can get the chip out, you can put the chip into another body essentially, and that's your
And
your mind and
how
your soul,
he's-
and that's how
So
people can.
That's the Dollhouse-esque.
That's the dollhouse-esque thing. So, like part of the first episode is if they had a kid that died in an accident, and because it was an accidental death,
Oh, that explains the trailer a little bit more.
because it was an accidental death, they took the 6-year-old, and the parents didn't have money because if you have money, you can buy like
A new body.
premium bodies.
Okay.
So there's some bodies that are, like this person was clearly someone fit, this was that. And then there's like the non-premium bodies that were like,
Walmart.
drug dealers and this and that. Yeah, it's like a Walmart of...
Bodies.
Yeah.
Walmart 'em. That's the
There's a
tagline.
difference between going to like the Hugo Boss store and Walmart, but for bodies. And
But
either
that's
way,
the tagline for this movie.
And so
of the
either way,
show,
like, this
the
6-year-old
Walmart of body.
this 6-year-old gets put into like a 50-year-old's body
What?
and
That's
comes
a bit different.
and comes out of this place after they kind of reintroduce you to the world because it takes some getting used to being
Yes.
obviously new skin, and the parents like one of the parents is like, oh thank God you're alive, and the one's like, what the heck is this? and then the lady who's playing the 6-year-old, because she's only in it for that much,
Yeah.
and it's literally just to set up how this this thing functions. But she sits there like, Daddy, like, I'm back, da 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 da, and you're going like,
What?
Soup.
and the daughter's been dead for a good 2 years or something
It took them time.
so you can stay dead
Yeah.
for a very
But
long
your-
time.
But your brain turns right back on right after.
But
right?
yeah, essentially you get put back into the thing and you got some goop going on, and so
That's
but the
weird.
main character died like 250 years ago,
Oh wow.
and he was up to no good. He was like a terrorist. So it was already the future when he died, and now it's even farther into the future.
What the shit?
So, and he gets brought back to solve a crime.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
That's the hook.
Yeah, it's the hook. So, and then the police are kind of watching him because he was sort of a terrorist before he was a freedom fighter more than anything. So they branded him as terrorist, but so the police are watching him.
Everybody's watching.
There's these cool
You're watching them.
there's these cool contact lens things that let you actually see the world, because he was walking around and the street was pretty empty, but people were pointing at stuff. And so he finally put this thing into his eye, and all of a sudden it's very like Blade Runner-esque, where all of a sudden you get all
got
the
this
holograms and
you have
the
the
augmented reality stuff. And he
Okay.
was like, "Oh, all right." Then he starts doing drugs and a whole bunch of it is.
Of course it is.
Yeah, and a very adult. Brian was right, very adult show. There's a lot of nudity,
I still need to
Well,
watch
he
the
both
he
male and
promised-
female.
He promised nudity in Jessica Jones.
He promised sex.
There wasn't a lot.
almost every other episode. I feel like there was every other episode.
You promised every episode.
Either way, Altered Carbon, weird show, and it's definitely like you cannot do something else while watching Altered Carbon. It's
You need to be
have
very
sit
vested
down
in-
and watch to know sort of
Ugh.
what's.
I love those shows, but sometimes I don't want to.
It's tough to get into them. Like that's my thing. Is it's like I put the TV on and I'm like,
You almost
oh,
need
I
to
gotta go
binge
do
it.
this, and it's like, oh, I gotta go do this. Oh, I gotta go do this.
You
like,
need to binge it.
like while I was cleaning,
Oh, yeah.
I just put Brooklyn Nine-Nine on or something. Just
Usually I have my
or Captain America. Like
my thing
Captain
is
America.
Bob's Burgers at the moment. I
Oh,
can
yeah.
easily turn that on and just.
Like Winter Soldier, I essentially had on while I was doing stuff because I'm like, oh, I'll stop for this scene where
And like for us, we've watched those films
Right.
for so long. We know where the hooks are. We know
Yeah.
what the important, cool sequences are.
So that's the stuff I put on Altered Carbon. I kind of started the week off like I'm a binge stuff, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
Hitman's Bodyguard,
Oh my god, I watched that.
good one.
Oh my god, it's so dumb and funny.
Yep.
It is.
It's so great. Did we all watch it this week?
No, I watched
You've
it
seen
when
it
in
before.
theaters.
Oh, you've seen it in theaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we.
Yeah, good movie.
Oh my gosh. Yes, if you go in expecting just dumb
Yep.
humor.
That's all. Again, when Ryan Reynolds is in an action flick,
It's dumb humor.
it's
Yeah.
dumb humor. I do not expect.
And then you put him with
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson together doing dumb stuff.
He has ruined mother effer for me.
Seatbelt! Like the entire film is them putting seatbelts on.
That's the perfect payoff. Like that's.
Every time you see them like putting seatbelts, it's great.
I watched a video yesterday that went actually longer than I was expecting it to, and it was about the editing of Suicide Squad and how bad a job they did. And the one guy's like, the payoff, like there's a rule of 3 when it comes to like movies, and he's like, if you watch Boomerang slowly and casually slips a pink unicorn into his coat pocket, like left breast pocket, inside his coat, then they're fighting, so that's the setup. Fighting, the unicorn falls out, and there's another scene of him putting it back in his coat. So the guy's like, that's the reminder. So that's 2.
Yeah.
And the third time,
The third time, he gets stabbed in the chest, but doesn't die. And when he pulls the knife out, the joke should be what?
unicorn.
It stabbed the unicorn. Instead, he pulls out a giant wad of cash.
Ugh.
Because someone in editing,
Oh, okay.
like they either did a reshoot where, the unicorn thing didn't
Empty
work,
payoff.
so there's no payoff. Like and then money comes out of nowhere. Because you never actually see him.
Now, if there was
Pocket
money,
money.
and now if the money was in the unicorn,
Sure,
but
that's
there
what someone else is like. Like even
There was no implication of that either.
So that was the nice thing about Hitman's Bodyguard is like all the little setups that they kept doing,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the seatbelt gag, seatbelt. What happened to the seatbelt rules?
So, that's such a good movie.
Like
Oh.
there's just all those
Or
little
the
touches.
the
that
sequence
work.
where Sam Jackson's character is going through the metal detector. He's just like,
Yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds like,
I know every time it's like It's like,
I'd
I'll
be
get
shocked
one, you
by
get
what he's
another one,
doing.
and it's like,
I
well, the
don't-
guns are in the car, and he just like pulls another gun out, and it's like, how do you keep doing this? He's in handcuffs with guns.
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
That's in the entire movies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what else I expected. But that.
Yeah, it was good. That was a fun movie.
It was so good.
That was a fun movie.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
No, like I would watch it again.
Okay.
It's sort of like I'll turn it on.
Right.
It's yeah.
Yeah. I also watched Things We Do in the Shadows by Taike Waititi.
Is that on the Netflix?
It is on the
the
Netflix. The
vampire
vampire
one.
mockumentary.
I don't know.
Is it as kooky as his?
I don't know.
It's kooky
It's
like
out
his.
there. It's a comedy.
Like a weird comedy.
It's a-
it
it's-
looks like a weird.
It's a very weird well, it is. So it starts off going like, New Zealand or whatever, Australian, one of the two, and I know people don't like when you mix them up. But,
Oh.
where's
Yes.
He's from New Zealand, so
Yes.
it's the New Zealand Documentary Filmmakers Board. Like that's how it opens up.
Yeah.
And then it goes. We got the rare chance to go in with these vampires that live together, like they're flatmates. There's 4 of them. We went in on the premise of we all carried crucifixes and we were promised that they wouldn't eat us. And you go in and Taika or whatever.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, he's
Waititi.
Waititi. He is one of the vampires, and they're all from different eras. So there's the
Okay.
vampire in the basement, who is like the Nosferatu, like giant fangs, like white face, lives
Classic.
in the, and he's like a Key and Peele type, like an actual like a comedian, but he doesn't talk. Like there's someone actually in that costume that I know,
Yeah.
but you can't tell it's them, and it's literally all of their humor is physically based because the guy's like 900 years old and doesn't talk.
Oh, yeah.
But he's the guy that like can turn into a bat and do this and do that. Like he's the guy that was in books essentially. Then you have like the Vlad the Impaler kind of esque dude.
Yeah.
So he used to live in medieval times. So he's still like, they're like, why don't we get slaves? Like easy peasy. Then there's the Taike is the Renaissance type guy.
Okay.
So a little younger, I guess, than medieval dude.
Yeah.
And then there's the guy that's like 200 years old. And they're all flatmates in New Zealand. So they all live together and they all like to go out. And the best part, like, there's parts of it where they bend a lot of the vampire rules. So, like, vampires can't go into places unless they're invited.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to go clubbing.
Yeah.
But none of the bouncers will invite them in.
Yeah.
So they can't actually go in anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's actually it's a pretty cute thing. And then werewolves show up at one point.
Of course they do. Classic.
Yeah.
A little confusing because you think they wouldn't show up on camera.
So they don't show up in mirrors.
Yeah.
But at one point, like, they get a computer and like cameras, and they can start seeing themselves through webcams and stuff. So it's something to do with the mirror that they can't see themselves. And there's actually a gag where they all like they try on clothes.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to like sketch each other really badly to like be like, this is what you look like. Not a good shirt. Like, no, they're all trying to like help each other out getting dressed because it's like, you don't know what you look like. Like, hey. No, good movie. Like weird.
Is it a movie or
But-
a TV show?
It's a movie.
Is it a Netflix one?
It's
or-
on Netflix.
Yeah.
No, but like is it a Netflix original?
No, it's not a
Yeah.
Netflix original. I don't believe. It's
his own thing.
It's his own thing, and it's definitely his.
His thing.
Yeah, it's got his feel to it, where it's like, oh, there's the punchline. Oh, there's another like.
All of this entire movie is the punchline.
Yeah. So no, it's a.
Get help. Is there get help?
There's. No, there's no
Oh.
get help.
Oh,
But and then they try and have humans over because they have to feed all the time.
sure.
And like the one guy's like a neat freak, so he's like putting, he's got a girl over, he's putting newspaper down on the floor before he eat, like, and she's just like, whoa. And he's like, no, nothing, no. Like he's trying to cover the couch. So it's pretty like it was. I was kind of like, I don't know about this one, but after Thor,
It makes
You
sense.
gave him a
for-
shot.
I'm like, all right, like let's give this one a go. So yeah, he's definitely an imaginative movie creator.
Weird person.
Yeah, but it works out like weird in a fun way, like Guillermo del Toro kind of weird, where I can just kind of get into it. but more comedy than Gil.
As long as you know what you're getting into, I think is the big piece.
And that's the big piece.
Because if you've never seen any of his stuff, my understanding, like that's why your friend probably didn't enjoy Thor.
Yeah,
for what it is.
I never seen any of his stuff before.
But we knew going in.
But we knew Thor was going to be majorly like a big departure then, because we saw promos.
Yeah, the promos were one thing, but knowing that he's crazy.
Yeah, knowing that he's a little off. Hey, man. Hey, want to get in the ship?
The revolution begins. That's all I can think about now. Them.
So yeah, things we do in the shadows. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good flick. Played Kirby. Kirby.
Still into it.
Yeah, it's better with people.
Yeah.
So
that's what I suspect.
Any criticism to Kirby and Superstar Allies or whatever it's called.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Better with people, because like I said, the AI really takes over.
It's autopilot.
But autopilot in a good way, because it's helpful. Like, it's not like useless AI where you're like, oh, I have to carry, or like, I have to carry everybody and do all these things.
Yeah.
This one, the AI, the only time that they're annoying is, and they didn't set it up quite right, is you hold up, and Kirby, depending on what his power is, like, he holds his sword up, and if you have a fire guy, the fire guy will breathe fire on it, you get fire sword. Yeah. If you have a wind guy, they'll blow wind on it, you get a wind sword.
Right, but sometimes you want a specific...
The problem is I have, like, I'm a sword guy, I have a boomerang guy, and then I have someone else who's got a weapon that can be powered up, and they just released DLC, which was free, so I got the hamster.
Yes.
Yeah. But the hamster's also a bird and a fish. It transforms depending on what it's doing.
Okay.
Either way, the hamster breathes fire. The fish obviously has...
Just like real life.
The fish has water powers, and the bird has wind powers. So by having one character, you can have your sword go fire, wind, or water. Except trying to then coordinate all the other guys is almost impossible.
I was going to say, that sounds really...
So you either all get fire power, or all get wind power, or all get water power, and it's kind of a pain.
Can you eat your allies?
Yes.
And you take their power?
Yes.
Could
But you can't spit... Well, you can't spit them back. You could, but that would end up taking a brutally long time. And again, as soon as you hold up, everybody holds their weapons up and the thing hits. So there's no... So again, 2-player... one person can... Because you can jump on things and ride them. So, like, one person jumps on everybody else and makes sure that the hamster's on the lower part, and then you hold your sword up, firepower, and then
So did you play multiplayer then?
Yeah. So, not bad. And again, you still had 2 AI guys, 2 people. But so, Kirby good, but multiplayer. I would not suggest Kirby...
by solo?
Solo. Like, I played it solo, and I'm like, alright, this is a game.
But not $80 worth if you're just playing it by yourself.
So, and then it's like with 4 people, it should be
even with 2 people.
2 people is good. 4 people would be an absolute blast with 4 morons trying to run around a screen.
So escapist.
Essentially, yes.
So like the escapist, correct.
Speaking of which, you and I played that.
We did.
Honed Chris's skills. So
I can build stuff.
We went back to the first prison.
I think we all played it at one point, right?
We all played it.
Yes.
So we talked about that last week, was us all playing it. But then Chris and I were the only ones available one night, and I'm like, well, there's only so many options with Chris.
I didn't want to jump on the train.
And we didn't want to do anything without everybody else. So I'm like, well, let's just go back to the first prison, and you can practice doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Brian and we ended up going on as well one night.
Yeah.
And we just dicked around.
Right.
I ended up... Okay. I was trying to copy a key. I had all the stuff to copy a key, but I knocked out the guard.
Yep.
It was the wrong key.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, well, screw... Oh, this is stupid. So I picked up the key, looked at it, it was wrong. I guess I must have placed it down wrong.
And didn't put it back on the guard.
On the guard.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh my god, the key alarm is happening. Like, it's...
Lockdown.
Lockdown. So we run back to ourselves, and Brian's like, wait, a key is missing. I'm like, wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me.
Well, that was even us playing.
That's a weird coincidence.
I wanted to go exploring the vents. So I kept exploring the vents, and they kept finding, like, the vent covers not quite, like, completely screwed in. So, the thing would go up. And then we were digging out. And every once in a while, Chris would go and dig up
By accident.
by accident instead of
Oh,
forward,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they'd find those. So like every once in a while, we're just like damage found, and it's like what and we didn't even know what we were doing because he didn't know he was hitting up. I didn't know he had been hitting up. I didn't think they'd find because I put the stupid panels back on to.
Okay, so how do you?
Vents.
Okay, if you were digging your way
Yes.
out, how do you cover your hole? Because obviously you can't do it
We
all in
put-
one night.
We put it.
We just put
another person's.
We actually went to another person's cell to dig the hole.
Oh.
We just put their
It was
crate
closer.
back on the hole.
Oh, that's what you do. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what you. Yeah, you.
You
cover
can build fake, so once you dig, you get the dirt. You
Yeah.
can make fake floor.
Oh, okay. So like a
We
fake,
just put
fake
yeah.
vent
We just
cover.
put the
Yeah.
box over.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we just
that-
put the box
Or the
over
desk or whatever.
The desk, yeah.
Okay, so that makes a little
Yeah.
more sense. Because I was gonna say like you can't dig out all in one night.
No.
Like we tried to break
Oh,
out
that took,
all
well,
in one night.
because the shovel pickaxe thing we had took a little longer than we thought. We actually had to build
We had to
two of
build
them.
2 or 3 of them, yeah.
Because I think the third time we just
Yeah.
went with whatever.
I tried digging out with a plastic spoon. It works.
Yes, I can believe it.
Very slowly.
I can also believe that. Does it break after a while?
1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, and like 25% energy every time you're like.
Energy drink.
So either way,
It
we.
took 11 days.
Yeah, I think we got out after 11.
So it was faster than when we.
But it was more, again, like helping you.
How does it
coordinated.
figure out, yeah.
How does the save file work? Because I still have that save file where we.
Whoever starts the game
Yes.
has the save file.
Okay.
The rest of us, when if
Are
like,
just
we,
simply just joining it.
Yeah.
So I still have that save file where our fence was cut to like what 1%.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you guys can just join in on that anytime as long as.
As long as you leave that game open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing. You could close the game and then
What happened
what?
with ours?
It's
Well,
on your
whoever
system.
whoever started it. Yeah.
You
Well,
started.
I started it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be that
Remember, I had a
last.
connection thing at the end.
It still saves.
Okay.
That has nothing to do. That's just a connection issue. That has
Yeah.
nothing to do with
Mhm.
that. So either way, got some extra practice in. So when we get to a harder prison, everybody should be a little bit more
practice.
keyed in. Because that was my thing. It's
I
like
think I'm kind of ready for the next.
it's like I just kept collecting stuff to have Chris build things, and I'm like, I'm going to the 3rd floor. So I made it, and then I made the inopportune mistake of I got into the 3rd floor, and there was a thing, and I didn't know what it was, but you jump down to the next roof, and I'm like, oh, I'm on the roof of like the 2nd floor over top of the entrance. So then I jumped down again, and I got stuck in a guard costume at the entrance to the prison. I couldn't get in. I couldn't leave. Like I couldn't get through the gates because those gates are locked.
So when you don't show up for.
So and it was nighttime because everybody was sleeping.
Yeah.
Like that's when I left
Oh.
to go exploring. So I'm like, well, I'll wait till morning, and then go. And so I went. The morning came, and they still didn't unlock the bloody front door. And I'm like,
You're gonna be late for morning.
And thankfully, Chris was thinking much better than I was, and he's like, just leave the game and come back in, and it should reboot you back into your cell, which it did. So,
And you still had all your stuff.
and I
too.
still had all my stuff, which was good. So, yeah, like,
We'll try it again.
so yeah,
We'll try.
like the next one, the prison, the
train.
train takes 10 minutes at most, because you don't actually have that much time. You only have like 10, 15 minutes to actually beat
So
the
I
train.
can't go beat up guards for the fun of it.
You have to actually beat up guards. The whole point is to get guard costumes.
But
so you
not with a soap and sock.
there is no soap and sock.
Oh, well,
on the
that's not as
Western
fun.
train.
Because that's my go-to weapon.
Cool.
Yeah, that, and then last but not least, yesterday I got an email from Blizzard, the company that makes a buttload of games.
Yes.
I've
They
been-
make games.
I have been invited to the World of Warcraft alpha testing for the
Ooh.
new expansion.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
I am.
Oh, good.
That's actually in the email.
I was gonna say
about
we're
it.
gonna end the stream real
fast.
Spoilers.
Spoilers: there's a new expansion coming for World of Warcraft.
Well, so Brian and I have already pre-purchased.
Did he get it as well?
No, he did not get
Oh no!
He did not get the invite.
Wah, wah.
Pancake.
Did you tell him?
I did. I actually sent him a picture of the email, and he's like,
rub it
"Oh
in.
my god, so cool, so cool!" And I'm like, "Yeah."
So how does that work? Like you're kicked off into your own separate server?
So what happens is so they actually give you all the instructions in the email. It's actually quite lovely. So in the launcher, when you go into the game, right above the play button is a drop-down menu,
Yeah.
and so you can select test servers.
Yep.
That's for the upcoming patches. Then you can select World of Warcraft, which is the game, and then you can select Alpha World of Warcraft, and it installs an entirely new game.
Okay.
So it was like 47 gigs that I had to
Is
download
this
and
the
install.
one that's like
Yeah, the
orcs versus humans
Yes.
again?
yeah.
So either way, welcome to Alpha. You've been selected to participate in the Alpha test for World of Warcraft.
Is this your first Alpha?
Alpha, yes.
Because Alpha is very early, isn't it?
It's super early, so I jumped in last night because it finally downloaded enough that I could jump into the game.
Hello.
Stop.
We see you. You don't...
So either way, I jumped in, and you create a new character, and they boost the character up to 110
Just so you
to
can...
put you into the new content. But they don't give you the quest to get to the new content,
Yeah.
so you just start in the new zone.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're just testing to make sure some of the...
There's a big button that I moved because it's right in the middle of your screen, but it's like report a bug or leave a comment sort of thing. Every time you finish a quest, did you have trouble finishing this quest? Yes,
Yeah.
no, leave comment.
Yeah.
So I did one quest, and it was like, did you experience an issue? And I'm like, yeah, like there was no sound, like all the sound cut out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's because I didn't install the whole thing. Like
No,
I,
you'll be
I
able
got
to
to a
jump
point where
back
it got
in.
to optimal. And I was like, yeah, just play because I want to try and create some new characters. So I created some of the new allied races. Like I went through them so I can actually make my Moose Tauren that Brian and I are actually trying to work towards.
You got spoilers.
I can make one on the test servers, and I knew what those were already. I just wanted to see if they added more.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can. Hello.
Hello.
Either way, it says in the email right here. You're welcome to publicly share your experiences and adventure in the alpha, so feel free to stream, record video, and post screenshots.
Huh.
Remember that your feedback directly impacts the quality of the final game. Our developers are standing by.
So, when it's all said and done, when the game comes out, do you get something
No.
then for testing?
Well, I mean, you've already purchased it, right?
Yeah.
So it says, but you probably
I don't get bonus items. There's nothing.
But
it's
you'll probably
just-
get invited to the beta.
Oh yeah, it'll streamline
It'll-
right into the beta.
Yeah. Now, does this probably now that you've invited to or been invited to this alpha,
Yeah.
that probably puts you on a list.
Well, you can
to-
apply for a list on Blizzard.
But like this will probably get you into other ones
Yeah.
down the road.
Oh well, maybe. So we'll see.
That's
But
usually
either
how
way,
this works.
so I'm like, well, do I really want to try it out? Because I don't want to spoil.
But the thing is, it's not. There's no story. Stuff.
There is.
Oh,
Like,
there is.
the quests are still the story like quests. So you start off and you go to this island of sailors, the Kulturas, who were like Jaina Proudmoore, one of the big characters. Her dad was like the Grand Admiral of these
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
He's no longer Grand Admiral.
She's in charge, isn't she?
No, another Proudmoore is in charge, but their name has kind of been muddied. So part of the quest is you get to select from different factions within Kulturas, and they all have different jobs.
Okay.
And you have to pretty much bring them back to their once great power. And that's the quest lines there.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right. I don't want to do that much. So I kind of just walked around and explored a bit. And like
Yeah.
there was some staircases without texture. And so, I mean, I'm not going to get the full experience of like, wow, this game's crazy. Because again, there was
Did you
this...
comment about the stairs?
I did. I clicked the button and I'm like,
Feedback,
I'm sure you know about this one already, but these stairs are missing textures because they were legitimately just white.
Just everything.
Yeah.
Everything you see type of.
But that's the whole point to
But
Alpha is you're
I was gonna
supposed
say
to
you don't want to.
you're
It's not a
supposed
free
to
game.
keep putting stuff. Yeah.
It's not a free game. It's
It's
actual
for feedback. So that's my thing is like I'd like to help, but at the same time I don't want to be like, oh no, don't look at the story stuff. So
You can play. It's very difficult to give feedback if you're not looking at the
right.
game.
Did you have a problem with this quest? Yes, it tried spoiling the story for me.
I bet you they actually get that.
They might. So either way, like
This is just a
I'm gonna
full story.
kind of dick around a little bit with Alpha, but nothing.
Well, if there's a way you can just do the earlier stuff repeatedly,
Yeah.
you can probably get feedback that way.
Yeah, so we'll see. Either way, that's what I have been up to.
Cool.
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 I'll leave you to it.
All right. So, Hitman's Bodyguard is pretty great.
Mhm.
Did watch that on the Friday before I left out.
'Twas a good film.
So good. I've also watched Downsizing.
How was that?
It is an interesting film. Are you
Alright.
familiar with this film?
Matt Damon?
Matt Damon gets shrunk to
So, the premise of this movie
make
is
a
that
better human
yes.
race.
So the premise of this film is that in the not so far distant future, humans are starting to realize, yes, our planet is dwindling on resources. So the one thing that we should do is to basically shrink ourselves down to what, like 1/8 size or something like that. Tiny.
Because that makes sense when the rest of the world is still huge.
Right.
As dogs now become a major threat.
Well, even insects become a major threat.
I want to play.
Even cats become a major threat. So that's the premise of this movie, is to basically save the environment, reduce our carbon footprint down to the size.
By reducing our footprint.
In theory, it does make sense. This movie is more of a social commentary than anything.
Sure.
Because if you think about the logistics of it, yes, you're shrinking yourself down. Yes, your carbon footprint gets reduced. But then what does that do to the rest of the economy? What does that do to the rest of the world if no one else follows suit?
Right.
You're raising everyone's taxes. You're raising everyone's cost of living because, yes, now they're developing technologies for this smaller community. And that's sort of where the play on the world is that, yes, you could be living like a bajillionaire based off your couple $1,000s of savings or whatever. But on top of that, like, are you really making a huge difference or not? And that's sort of where this movie is going towards. Because there's not a whole lot of situations where they play with the large people and then the small people. That happens maybe like 3 times in this film.
Oh, yeah.
And if that's what you're going for, if that's the special effects you want to watch, like you're going to see, that's not what this movie is about. The movie is more about social commentary of the rich and the famous as compared to the people who had to come, like, they needed to downsize themselves to stay afloat because they were running out of normal people-sized resources. And like, it's just a weird, not a.
I just want to see Matt Damon as a Lilliputian.
Yeah, that happens like twice in the film. And the big piece is that, yes, Matt Damon and his wife, Kristen Wiig's character, I can't remember her character's name, they did plan to undergo this procedure, but then she basically just kind of backs out of the very last minute. He has to go through a divorce. He loses half his money based off of whatever, and so it drops him down. He would have lived in this massive mansion, massive being the quote unquote
massive to him,
massive to him. But due to his financial situation, he has to start working, and then he meets up with, and then it talks about there's a whole other aspect of this movie where what happens when a dictatorship starts getting a hold of this technology. Well, they're just going to shrink away the competition and then ship them out to another country, and sort of that's where the other female protagonist comes in. She is basically a prisoner of war from, I guess, like Vietnam or something like that, or North Korea or something. They actually got shipped in a TV box to Best Buy from North Korea. And the big story is that, like, she's the sole survivor of this atrocity, and obviously it's another commentary in that regards.
Wow.
Like, is this human trafficking? Is it moral?
Yes.
Is it immoral? Obviously, they're not killing anyone, but they are?
Right.
Question mark.
Is there a way to reverse it down?
No, it's a permanent procedure based off of the science fiction portion of this movie. It's permanent. And
they're trying to make you big again. Your organs stay tiny and can't support your giant body.
And that's another one of
the. Or you get super strength.
It's not like Ant-Man. Unfortunately, it's not like Ant-Man.
They just need pin particles.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Problem solved.
So downsizing is part of the MCU.
Then they can take on the dogs.
They can punch all manner of life form. And that's another piece of this movie is that when you're going down this procedure, you have to take any filings out, any sort of physical stuff.
Because it doesn't shrink with you?
It doesn't shrink with you. So if you had a pacemaker with you, you couldn't undergo this procedure. Because that stuff, you can't take that out.
So it would just explode.
Yes. And that's one of the side story.
I was imagining someone hiding it.
I wish to be downsized.
Nope. Your head explodes. Basically, one of the couples did go undergo this procedure, but one of the doctors missed one of the filings in the husband's head.
That's what I'm talking about.
Head exploded.
Yeah, but a pacemaker would just explode your body.
Yeah, your chest burst.
You would die.
And
You would die. But yeah, like it's an
It'll be
interesting
slower.
commentary film. It's not so much the science fiction of shrinking yourself down as much as it is like talking about.
And I kind of got that it was going to be more of that kind of thing when
Yeah.
he becomes he looks like he becomes some kind of conservationalist in the jungles or something.
Yeah.
Trying to help out. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
we can do something with our tiny lives. And I'm like, oh, it's one of those.
it sets up a lot of time jumps as well. So it's
Oh, yeah.
like, oh, this is 12 months later. Oh, now this is like a year later.
Does
This
it at
is-
least tell you?
Yeah, it does.
When the animals take over, because they're giant.
Well,
Monkeys?
no, they have like nets and walls to protect
For now.
the small community.
What about weather though?
Yeah, like a raindrop is huge.
Yeah, that's what they have these specialized nets that disperse the rain.
Till a rhinoceros comes by and steps on it.
Gorilla.
In the jungle?
Gorilla.
Yes.
Mosquitoes are dangerous.
Mosquitoes would be a very large, yeah, it's
Well,
like
would they be very large though?
a mosquito
Yeah.
No.
would be like my dog size.
The
I would
big,
not
the
want
big dog size.
I would not want to face off against that.
especially if it's a bloodsucker.
Because they're not that big.
I know, but you're now this big.
No,
Yeah,
you're not even that big. You're like this big.
And at that, I mean, that's,
Yeah, you're fighting a dog size.
You're fighting a human-sized
mosquitoes are
mosquito.
not that big. Mosquitoes are like that big.
no, they're not that big.
Yeah, they're that big.
Okay, essentially, let's say you're this big, your head's this big, you're fighting a mosquito the size of your head.
And it's
Bring it
flying-
on.
Nick out.
And you're fighting a mosquito. What about
You know
what about a flock of mosquitoes? Yeah, describing them
That's
by
a new song.
Mini
Flock of-
fighter.
flock
flock of mosquitoes.
Spinning.
No, that's the
or,
name of my heavy metal band. Flock of mosquitoes.
See, there's the movie. Is a bunch they have to build mini fighter jets to fight off the giant
Well, you
mosquitoes.
didn't even need it because you could fight them hand to hand.
They have a stinger.
Swords.
Look what happens to your body when a mosquito bites you. Like,
Oh, they'll drain all your blood.
Yeah, they're gonna
They
drain all your
get
blood.
you. That's why you have a sword and you fence them.
we've gone back to swords.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Well, not mini guns.
Mini
You don't know how they're gonna
bullets
do it.
don't do that much. Come on, they're only this big.
Repellent. This is a hose with repellent.
Still like that scene in Justice League where the girl goes and gets the bug repellent from underneath the sink.
Yeah. So yeah, watch Downsizing. It's interesting. I'm really glad I didn't watch it in theaters because I would have been bored.
That's not a movie theater
Beautiful.
movie.
No,
anyways.
we had a good time talking about it as
Yeah.
we were watching. But
You have
watching
fallen
it.
asleep?
Oh yeah, I would have fallen asleep because I wouldn't have
Sound,
been
it
able
looks
to
like a movie
discuss
I would
it.
have fallen
See, that's like that Molly's Gay movie.
I want to see that.
I want to see it, but I didn't want to see it in theaters. Like, it's
It's
one of
out
those.
now?
It's-
Yeah,
it's
it's
out.
out for, you can...
Digital.
Digital.
You can find it now.
I'm waiting for it to go to rental.
I'll find it.
I'm not going to buy it for you.
I'll
I'm
find
not,
it.
no, I'm not buying that. Like I said, rental's fine. I don't
I
mind.
hear,
buy
I hear
things
so
that
many
give you
good
the
things
digital
about
copy. I'm not gonna buy that.
Molly's game.
Yeah, I've heard
Right.
good things. I just
So-
I don't want to spend $17 or $18 buying it.
I'll find it.
I'll wait till it. I'll rent it. I don't mind renting.
I'll find it. So I watched that, and then last night, totally forgot this came out. A series of unfortunate events.
Yes.
Season 2.
Yes.
Yes.
We watched about most of it. We're still the last 2 episodes,
Wow.
and yeah, we had a day off yesterday.
I've had like 5 days.
We don't have
I
that.
barely fit. But I watched
Well,
it.
we wanted to fit as much. Okay, so season 2 is basically a expanded version of the first set,
Oh,
the
yeah.
first series.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
and it
supposed-
is so cool. Bunch of cameos, tons and tons and tons and tons of cameos. Will Arnett and Colby Smulders' character isn't back so far that we've seen.
That makes sense.
I mean, I don't know.
Why?
Well-
They're not in the books.
Well, no, the direction that this show is going, they should be in theory.
They were never in the books.
Yeah. In the show, in the way that the show is taking those characters from the first season,
Yeah.
they should still be in. I'm not going to spoil how
Yeah.
how that works. They introduce a whole new set of twins. I don't know
Yes.
if were those characters in the. Okay, so those characters are in the triplets.
The
Triplets.
Quagmire triplets.
Sorry, triplets. Very specifically triplets.
Or are they just brothers and sisters?
No, they're
They're,
triplets.
they're specifically triplets.
Quagmire triplets.
Yeah, there's only 2 of them. that's the best running joke in that series so far.
Oh, and it keeps going like that.
It's so great.
All through the books, it's like, oh, the Quagmire twins actually were triplets. It's like,
But it's strong, but not right.
but that's why I love Lemony Snicket's writing, because that's pure
Yes.
Lemony Snicket. Is
And it's-
those kind of jokes where you're just
Oh.
like,
The literary puns and the literary
Yeah.
I wish I read these books as a kid because I never did.
They're
You
still
still
good to
can.
read.
Yeah.
As an adult, they're still good to read.
So maybe after this, I'm not sure if this is the last of the shows.
No, there is one more
Is there-
set.
Is there one more set?
Yes,
Because
because
this was only
the books go to the number 13.
and that's only
Gotcha.
10 books.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I looked on the episode guide. They're still.
Unless you count the unauthorized autobiography of Lemony Snicket.
Wow.
That's like a pseudo 14th book.
Nathan Fillion is in it, and I kind of joked with my fiance. This is the first time that Nathan Fillion and NPH are on the same screen again since Dr.
Dr.
Horrible.
Horrible.
And so a little bit of me was just like, this is great. They're doing things together again. They must be like snickering off camera or whatever. It's like, when was the last time we did this? I really am digging it, that show. And if it wasn't for the literary puns, the dark humor behind it, I don't think I would follow it.
Oh no.
The dark humor is the biggest piece, and that's why it's one of those things where
The hospital was so weird.
I do love sharing those books with kids.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, teaching, it's one of those ones where I kind of save it for the end of the year, and one of the other teachers, the teacher before me, reads them.
Mhm.
So I kind of try and find out where the kids are and go off to the next book. Because they are, like, that dark humor.
It builds on itself.
That dark humor and the literary stuff, it's in the book. So being able to, but in a kid-friendly way.
It's as friendly as a kid can be.
Yeah,
For kids,
like
it can be.
it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they're really good. So even as an adult, I would read them. I
Okay.
still enjoy them.
I'm definitely gonna. I think that's one of the series.
They're very different from the show.
Mm-hmm.
The show adds, especially to the first part of the series.
Well, I think, but they do it in a tasteful way.
Oh no, and
Feels-
Lemoney's the guy. Like Lemony Snicket's involved with the series.
Oh, is he? Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Like he's one of the screenwriters for the series. So any changes that were made were his changes.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
It's just expanding. I don't think he expected the books to, like Daniel Handler, the guy who wrote the actual thing.
Mhm.
I don't think he expected the books to do as well as they
It's
did.
a lot like the Scott Pilgrim movie with Brian O'Malley, right?
Yeah.
Because he was involved with the Scott Pilgrim film, even when Edgar Wright was still directing it and
Yeah.
writing the script. They changed the ending to that film as from the comics, but it was still his interpretation of it.
But that's my thing is, like, I don't think Lemony Snicket intended for it to go that far with all the conspiracies into this, so the show tightens a lot of that stuff up, because the first few books are very, like, here is a story about some unfortunate, siblings.
If you're still watching or if you're still reading this, you're
this.
gonna have a bad time.
Well, and it says that right on the back of the book.
Yeah.
Like, you should not read this book is one of the first lines
Yeah.
on the back cover, and you're just like, yeah.
And I think that what really draws us in is that every episode they get a little bit closer, but then they get back a little bit more.
Yeah, and there's still mysteries in the books that the books end, and you still have no idea. Like, they leave stuff very open-ended.
Well, that's good.
And not that he's writing any more books,
No, I think.
but it's just, he leaves you with this, like, I told you, like, you were not going to like how this book turned out. Like, deal with it.
He's very frank about it.
Well, but it's like, legitimately, from the very first book, I told you not to start reading about these kids.
Oh, you're
Because
still
it's
here?
not going to turn out the way you were hoping it turns out. So people online are still like, well, what happened to this? What happened to this? And it's like, that's the point. Like, you're not supposed... He brings up mysteries that don't get solved.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the show does a better job of kind of solving some of those looser ends, because it's a show.
There's a lot more musical.
Though.
There's a lot more musical pieces too for NPH to deal with.
Well, that's the best part about Count Olaf being
The actor.
an actor. is
The
yes,
actor.
Yeah, he can do the singing bits.
But yeah,
I'm
like-
excited to start watching.
Oh,
this
it's so
season
good, and yeah, the guest character or guest actors are really they spend their time on screen fairly well.
Good, and that's part of the book.
And I was
too,
kind of
is-
worried about when Nathan Fillion's character came on.
Yeah.
He was in for like about 5 minutes. I was like, is that it? Is that what we'll get? And then the next like 5 episodes come on. I'm like, okay, good. Oh, thank God. They actually use him
Nice.
for his role, the role that he's in.
Because that is the nice part, even the first series, like Catherine O'Hara using her, and like, because that's the thing with the books is they go from place to place to place to place, and there's not a lot of characters that continue on.
There's
with
a party
them.
sequence where they bring back all the actors from the first
Yeah.
series.
Yeah,
So,
but that's the thing is like, but the books don't really carry the Quagmire triplets go through some of the books. Mr. Poe obviously is in everything because
most
he's the one that gets them from place
He's
to
the
place.
most. He is the most useless.
He's the greatest character ever in like literary history. It's just like the most oblivious moron.
What are you
ever.
talking about? That's not Count Olaf. That's your new teacher.
Like, but even in the books, it's like this opening scene from the first series where he approaches them on the beach and is just like, "Oh, your parents are dead." Like,
Perished.
Very
They're
blunt.
perished.
very
Perished.
blunt, just like, yeah, your parents have perished, and it's
Perish
like,
means to die.
Yeah,
we
like,
know what that means.
boom, and you're just like, and again, in a kid's book, you're like, this is the best thing ever.
No, we're super into that so far, and we're glad. I'm glad to hear that there's more.
I'm glad that
I'm hoping they plan on doing the last bit. Then
they're filming it. They
Okay,
went
good.
from
Because
filming season
it's
2 to
funny.
filming season.
kids.
It's funny because they I don't know. Did you watch Snicket, the Netflix one?
The first series.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the first season?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, because they end off in the orphanage,
Yeah.
and literally the first joke they fire off is about Sunny, and it's like, oh man, well, we've been sitting here for a couple months now. Sunny's not a baby anymore; she's a toddler, and it's the same baby actor, but it literally is now a toddler.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that so many times in that first two episodes, where it's
Yeah.
like, we've been here for so long. And
Oh.
they know, and every once in a while, NPH's character will be like, when I'm watching these things, it's like, I can keep watching this forever and ever. Looks at the screen a little bit, looks back. It's clearly a Netflix bit.
Yeah.
All they're missing is that boom, boom.
Boom, from the Joel McHale show. Every time they say Netflix.
Speaking of Joel McHale show,
Yo!
is that done yet?
No,
how many
they have
episodes do they get? Because I thought they were
13.
Done. He's getting 13.
He has 13 episodes to
Okay,
do
because
what he wants with.
I was under the impression and the feeling from the last week's episode
Yeah.
that it was like, oh, this is it, this is the last one we're gonna do, kind of thing. But good to hear that that's gonna keep going.
He's got 13, and I'm assuming with the way it's going, because they're pushing that show like nobody's business, which is good. Like Netflix, I don't get a lot of push notifications from Netflix. I uninstalled HQ because I got about 12 push notifications from them last week.
Well, it was a big couple weeks, so.
I know, but I got one, and I'm like, okay, go away. And then like 10 minutes later, it's like, you have 0 extra lives, and I'm like, I'm well aware. And they're like, we're giving away this much money, and I'm like, I am done with you.
Yeah,
I played the $50,000 game and I played the $250,000 game.
But Joel McHale every Sunday, and I mean, I beat the notification
Yes, I did
to
too.
watching the show, but every Sunday I've been getting the notification like, oh, Joel McHale, new episode of Joel McHale.
I got that.
It's a good way for Netflix to be like, hey.
I got the notification for
Come back,
Jay-Z's
please.
episode.
Yeah,
For David Letterman. Is that
Yeah.
this week?
Yeah,
Or
it's
next
out.
week? Oh, it's out now.
It should be out.
It's still March.
Then it might be next week. But yeah, I saw that notification too where I'm
I'm-
like,
I'm-
oh, yeah.
I didn't really care so much for the other one.
I didn't watch the other one yet.
No, I can't pronounce her name.
Because
but,
again, that's one of those shows where I want to actually watch it.
But I feel like the Jay-Z one will actually be quite interesting.
Jay-Z could get interesting.
Well, especially from David Letterman to Jay-Z, like very two different generations.
Yeah.
Having a discussion that could be something interesting.
The Nobel Prize winner.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I still not sure who she is.
There's a book about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I get that she's this,
No, I do want to
revolutionary.
watch that one.
But yeah, that's
Jay-Z is April 6th.
so that's soon. That's next weekend.
That's what I mean. Like, I think the Joel McHale show is a great way. One, he pushes a bunch of other Netflix shows.
Oh my god!
Like
Are
Game
you-
Over Man was a big
I
part of
was
that.
gonna say, are you gonna? Is this bit too long? Yeah, I got my plug-in.
Yeah. Yeah. Has this gone on long enough? Yeah, I got my plug-in. Game Over Man. Like,
I need to watch. I feel like that's. a
that's
good
one
movie.
I want to watch too.
Got really low review.
Did it? Hey,
What,
Yeah.
Game Over Man?
Yeah.
That's not surprising.
it looks really bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks like something I'll watch, having a pizza and a
Yeah.
beverage of some kind, yeah. But that's what I mean, like, yeah, Joel McHale, I think, is going strong enough that, I mean, the soup went on for
How long?
13 years. Like,
And the nice thing about it, every episode will always be relevant as long as you watch it within sort of that first week or two.
Yeah. But even my wife, like, we've started, it's Sundays, that's our...
The end credit song is
Yeah.
the best.
I've decided to switch it up every 2 weeks.
This is the end credits for the Joel McHale show.
Yeah.
I hope you watched your family and friends name real quick here.
Apparently people are watching these. Because if you haven't seen it, the first episode, as soon as it gets to the credits, goes.
No one ever watches.
Nobody ever watches the end credits.
It's a song about no one
So
watches.
then, on the third episode, it's like apparently some people do watch the end credits.
And Netflix has that thing where you can go to the next episode.
Yeah.
But I wish they extended that timer just a little bit more because I do want to.
Actually, catch it when they change it.
now.
I know.
Now I really want to watch the credits, but it flips too fast.
But yeah, Joel McHale, like and they've hit their stride. Like they're back on to like, you know,
They're hitting it.
the jokes are good. Everything's in. The first couple episodes are a little.
The Japanese bit of the what was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
That threw me off, completely off guard. Well, you'll have to see this clip. There are no words to explain what he found.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been watching. In terms of games, I played a little more I Am Setsuna.
Yep.
I got up to the werewolf boss. I don't know if you remember that one or not.
No, there's a cave.
No. Then
There's
You're not even close.
there's a cave,
sure,
and you get like your fourth character,
sure.
big guy with sword.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where I got.
Okay, so I'm ahead of you then. But I've. How do you sell items?
Yes.
Okay, so that's my question because I've got a lot of I don't know. You don't get money off of battles.
I that game throws me for such a loop because I'm like, the cave I'm at, and I remember why I stopped playing is there's walruses in there that poison you, and I need poison items to like negate.
I bought all that stuff before going into the cave.
Well, so that's my thing is like I go back to buy them, but one of my guys is slowly but surely dying of poisoning while I'm headed back to the town. No inn in the town.
Yeah, there's no recovery.
No recovery. So
There's
I'm
the
like,
tent.
so I bought a bunch of tents and I bought a bunch of like
But there's no
poison relief.
I'm trying to figure out how to make money in that game because you don't get money at the end
Yeah,
of.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I mean, I love the game to bits. I love the orchestral feel to it.
There's just some
Google
parts.
is an amazing thing.
I was on an airplane. Okay.
There's just some
I'm on
pieces of I Am Setsuna which I wish were a little bit more JRPG like.
Yeah, it takes a little too much backwards.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that. I mean, I paid $10 for it.
Yeah, it's got its own system. It's
and
a
I will get
solid
back
game.
into it when I can figure out a little bit more about
Yeah.
the systems. So I'm really digging that. I love the brake system where you charge up
Yes.
the things and then you hit the Y button to do more damage.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I really think
That's a nice system in the game.
It's basically from Mario RPG.
Yep.
It's basically they pulled that from Mario RPG.
Well, except this one you have to wait for the build, like the
gotta-
timer to go up to get that extra piece. So it's like, do
do
I
I wait a little
do
bit?
I wait or do I just start piling on
Yes.
attacks?
Or if you can sneak up on an enemy fast enough, you get an
You get an
instant
extra
one
orb. Yeah, you get an
already.
extra orb.
So that's super cool. I think that what's hurting the game most for me is the lack of voice work or voiceover because there's a lot of reading in this game.
Laudo dialogue.
Lots of stuff happening, and not to say that there's no story, but it's just there's less impact, especially in some of the big major sequences where it's like, haha, surprise! I am the villain in this sequence. You didn't see it coming. It doesn't have that other than the orchestral soundtrack, which is some of the
Yeah, they did a
coolest,
gorgeous job of that one.
the best music I've ever heard in RPG.
Well, and they got the if you look at that's one of their main selling points for I Am Setsuna is like composers from like Final Fantasy 2 and one of the other like big RPGs out there, and it was like they
definitely
spent
hear it.
They spent all of their money, like they blew their load essentially on composers.
And you know what? You can hear it. You definitely
Yeah.
hear it. It definitely feels.
It's just
like
funny that's because I was going through the game's like credit or the eShop page just
Yeah.
to check it out, and that's one of their things
selling
was
points?
like
Yeah,
was like composers, and I'm like,
See, that would get me.
No,
you don't, and I mean it's not a selling point, but once you're playing the game, it's something that you go, yep, you can tell that they put some
feels
money
good.
into the.
But there's other stuff that they could have been putting money
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that, and then last weekend I was at Portland Regionals. We did a lot of.
For the Pokemons.
For the Pokemons, Pokemon Portland Regionals, we had 900 something players.
I know you sent a picture on our if you go into our
Discord.
Discord.
There's a Discord there.
Yeah, there's a picture.
And that picture that I sent was half.
Yeah, I assumed that there was more to it.
There's more to it than just that. We had 900 registered players, around 450 50 Masters, which is sort of our division if we were to play. And that was just the
You mean
players.
You mean you?
Our age.
Oh,
our age.
age.
Our age. Our age
there's
group.
an age group.
Yes, we have 3 separate age groups.
mean
We're
I can't play-
masters.
Yes.
I don't
That's
even
what
know
I
cards
can't-
and
you
I'm
mean
a
I can't
master.
play with
That's
the-
what I thought about when I first started the game. I was like, I'm not a master. Maybe I'll just be a junior at the moment because I'm starting to figure this game. Anyways, so that's we have separate age divisions.
All
for
right,
that.
so I can't just like beat down a 5-year-old essentially.
Well, I mean,
So
you can
I'm
do
a-
that.
so I'm
we're gonna look
I'm
at
a
you. funny.
Pokemon master.
No,
I am a Pokemon master.
But
And
you
then-
just said I'm a master.
you are a master, but not a Pokemon master.
So what am I the master of?
You can make your own decisions and fates.
You're
and-
bait.
Yes.
I was
You're
wondering
what
if
you're what we
gonna
would
go there
you're,
with that.
you're what you would we call easy wins. Easy wins.
Huzzah! Huzzah for my participation medal.
So that's just registered
I still get
players.
cards though.
For our where we had our hall was right next to the Lego convention.
Oh, good lord.
Ooh.
The big thing was theirs was a $5 entrance fee.
Yeah.
Ours was free. So we got all the kids coming from the Lego convention afterwards coming into ours,
Ooh.
our hall.
Just
so
to watch?
Just to watch. We also
Okay.
had we also had side events going on as well, so you didn't have to be a registered player to play in the tournament. You could play in sort of
You could just kind of-
8-man pods.
yeah.
We had
So
vendors. We had everything going.
When
on.
you come to watch, like you used to just surround a table and just watch.
In theory, yes,
Because that would, to me, that would throw me off. If I'm
As a
playing.
judge-
That's why you're in the
So,
tournament, though.
but as a
It doesn't
judge,
matter. I would still be thrown off by this mass amount of people
Right.
surrounding me. All
So
the
as a
time.
judge, it's sort of our responsibility to make sure that the play area is clear. Make sure if you're in a tournament, particularly, you can't watch other people playing.
Right.
What if you're playing him next, right?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. So we have to make sure that play area is clear, and that's why we have that giant convention hall area.
Yeah, so you
we
have
have-
space.
So we have space. So that's I think a quarter of the area was reserved for side events. So playing in 8-man pods, we had booster pack tournaments, we had video game side tournaments as well.
Ah,
Because
there
it's
we go.
not just
That's
the
mine.
because it's not just the card game tournament. We had
Yeah, it's
we
a
had
Pokemon thing.
We had the video game competition as well.
That would be mine. That's
And
where I'm the master.
Really? Have you seen those people?
Those are we had
They're
some
insane.
I'd be more of a
stiff-
master there than I would be with the cards.
we had some stiff competition in the video game tournament this year.
I have a Squirtle!
You can't just earthquake everything.
Sure, I can.
Earthquake everything.
Throw Gyarados in there. Intimidation.
You're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a real bad time.
Intimidation. Throw off
what
their
are
attack.
your IVs at, man?
I don't know. I know
What's
someone
its
that works
nature?
on that.
What's its
I guess
nature?
bring his game in.
Yeah, what's its nature? Special skill?
Yeah. What's its held item?
Yes.
You need to like that's
A
that
soothe
is,
bell.
that is the worst part about all of that stuff.
I saw. Okay, so as coming from a trading card game perspective,
Yes.
when you go into a tournament, you have to write your deck list. You have to make sure your cards match your deck list, or else it's an illegal deck. You can't
Right.
play it, right? For the video games, they go down to the specific moves and which slot that move is in, as well. So when you write your team list, as well as what item is held,
What if your
what the
Pokemon
nature is,
evolves?
it has to be very specific, and that's what threw me for a loop because I didn't do the registration for the card game. I did the registration for video games just to help them out because they
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of staff there. At the end of the day, I was booted back into my
'Cause you were doing that?
my normal section,
Role, yeah.
my normal role. They just needed help in the video games. But yeah, I took a look at the deck list or the team sheets, and it's like, yeah, specific. What is the name of your Pokemon? Like your Pokemon, you have to like if you've nicknamed it, that's fine. But it has-
Dick butt.
there's registrations inside the game that prevent you from
Oh.
writing specific.
Okay,
names.
but what if
Jack
your
butt.
in that case, what if your Pokemon evolves or goes up in levels and learns a new move?
It doesn't.
You don't
in
do
a
that in
tournament,
tournament.
in
There
the
are
tournament,
100?
no. So how the tournament goes in video games is that your Pokemon are locked to level 50.
Yeah.
If they're under 50, I think they get
They get a boosted
They,
up.
they get boosted to 50
For
There
the
we
fight.
go.
for the tournament, and everybody has that.
Yeah.
Everybody
So it
has
doesn't
that.
matter. I bring in my lower
So
guys.
it's all basically based off of
Boost
how
them up.
you raised that Pokemon, what the natures are, what its
How you
IVs
bred
are.
those things, yes. So that's
and
where
Daycare.
and all that
And
stuff.
then-
Daycare raised my Pokemon.
Hey,
And
you
it's
are
really
in a
specific.
bad time.
And it's very, very specific too, because depending on what, like, there's hack checks as well. So it's like this Pokemon clearly can never learn this move.
Right.
It's an illegal Pokemon for this tournament. This Pokemon can't be caught in this specific ball. Can't use it in this tournament, even though the rest
How
of
do
it is
the
legal.
balls matter?
Because there are certain Pokemon that can't be caught in specific balls. A Beast Ball is reserved for Pokemon that are Ultra Beasts. So if
Yeah.
a Pikachu was
Comes in
registered-
with a beast ball
yes, it's clearly like this
But
Pokemon.
how
is
does that
hacked.
affect the
because it's a
fighting?
hacked Pokemon.
It's a hacked Pokemon. That's why.
Oh.
And even little things like that will affect how legitimate
No.
video. No, it's that's what threw me for a loop. It
Uh-oh.
is so crazy, so wild that happened. That happens like that. But it makes sense in the grand scheme of things, because if you let that one hack in, then what else can people come in with? Especially when you're playing games from Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, certain Pokemon have, I think it's like a little pentagon or something like that.
Yeah.
It shows that Pokemon, you can only use Pokemon that are caught from Alola. So the Pokemon needs to have that little pentagram symbol on its registered dex. It's very, very specific.
She knows she's in trouble.
Save me, human!
Come here. Come on.
Go. Go.
Not you.
Go.
So it was fun. Though.
Oh, it was a blast. I learned so much.
Where is your,
There's
your foot?
Yeah, that's my foot.
Okay.
I'm trying to kick her, but
Come on.
no, she doesn't.
No,
She doesn't.
Hello. You're a very
So-
good dog.
I learned so much from all of the high level judges, because they're. No, go move your butt. No, not to me. There you go. There you go. So yeah, no, I got to staff with some of the highest level judges in the tournament, in the scene. So getting to know specific rulings, how to deal with certain illegal situations.
Was there
It
illegal
was-
situations?
Oh, there was tons. I had to give out game losses to about 2 or 3 players.
And they were mad.
No, and that's the nice thing about high-level tournament play, is that the way we issue penalties is higher.
Yeah.
Because there's an expectation of players to know how to play it in a 9-round event.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times it's like, sorry, like this is in this situation, it has to be a game loss. There's no other way. We got to do that. Move on to game 2, basically. And again, being a judge, they have to. It's like, yes, we have to follow your rule, or else,
Wah, 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 wah.
my rule is law, kind of stuff. Gave out tons and tons of prize penalties. I think I gave out more prize penalties than I've given out in my entire judging career.
So what's
In
that?
Prize. Okay, so when
So
you
you take away their Pokemon cards?
no. So how it works is when you start a game of Pokemon, you set off 6 cards as your prizes.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
And your goal is to take all 6 prizes.
Right.
Well, when you issue a prize penalty,
They
your
lose
opponent
one.
your opponent gets
Oh.
to take a prize, because that means that they're one step closer to
Right,
Right.
winning.
Yeah.
It's not you losing a prize, or else gives
Right,
you an
it
advantage.
gives you the advantage.
You want to give your opponent the advantage
Yeah.
when you're issuing a prize penalty, and that's just how the game system works in that high level play. Is the smallest things can trigger a prize penalty.
So, do you watch individual games while you're there, or
I watch
you
all of them. I watch all of them.
And when there's an issue, someone just calls you over?
Yeah, someone has to call a judge over.
So if you're really sneaky, you can get away with stuff.
No, because the other player would know the rules and they would
Yeah,
call
and
you
that's,
out on it.
but that's what I
that's-
mean. Like
and
you have
that's
to be
the-
like
And that's
super sneaky.
And that's the thing. Like, there are separate rulings around that. If neither player can agree on the current game state, sometimes that leads to a game loss.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, no, you discarded that Pokemon because of this effect. No, you didn't. You had it in your hand this entire time. If neither player can agree on that, and of course the judge can't be expected to be there right at that second. Right?
Yeah.
In that situation, it's like, sorry, this is gonna have to be, a prize penalty or game loss, or this is how the ruling. You, as a judge, you try to rewind as much of the game state as possible.
Are there ever fights?
Not at the table. Not
Well,
at the
no,
table.
like they get like the yelling matches.
Oh,
at each
sometimes
other.
I've seen that happen.
But obviously no physical fights. I don't really.
No,
expect
that would be a straight disqualification from the tournament.
Just checking.
There's-
People's
there-
emotions
Hey,
get the best of them.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so that would lead to a straight disqualification. There are rules for that. Spirit of the game, maintaining game state, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're stuck. That's not a big enough hole for you.
Challenge accepted. So, did that on day 1. Moved into day 2, where we take the top 32 players and then we throw them back in the grinder again to play some more games. So, in essence, if you're a good enough player, you played 15, 20 something odd rounds.
Wow.
And never against the same person. It's always against someone
Ideally, you're not supposed to play against the same person.
Okay.
When you hit top
Go.
32, you will play against the same person at least once.
Go.
If you
Shot,
get to
lie
the
down.
But in an event where there's 400 plus players, there is very few opportunities for you to play the same person,
Yeah.
if at all.
Pancake, come here.
Hi. And it's just a worthy note. Nope.
Here,
There we go.
I was gonna say, you just gotta give it a sec.
Yeah. So it is worth noting that a 900-player event is actually considered medium size. Some of the events, we had a Charlottesville event, not we, but the community had one. I think it was 1,400 players. Was the were between all age divisions.
Never would have thought it was still that big.
Oh yeah, it's well because there's massive prize money at the end of it. The seniors division, which is sort of
65 and older?
Yes, it's 65 and older.
Just check it.
I think it's like between ages of like 12 and like 17 or something like that. The first
That's
place
senior?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like
That
an
age
old
division, the
gray
winner
hairs.
of that division got $5,000
For a trading card game.
for
That is-
for a trading card game.
That is my biggest thing, I think, with trading cards is people sit there and go like, you still play whatever.
No, there is massive prize,
And it's like, do you guys know how much money is involved in...
and that's just one division.
How about a
Right.
master?
I think it was like 10.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually
then I
they
gotta
end up-
build
I think it's
up,
$10,000 if you win.
You gotta
if
help
you
me
got
build the
first.
deck.
and then you have to like make your way to
And-
actually beating people.
And it's not just
I could-
it's not just knowing how to build a deck.
It's knowing how to use it.
It's not how to use it and knowing your matchups.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I'm going against 90% of the decks this weekend. I will win. I know because of certain cards I have
Well,
in my
there you
deck.
go.
But if it
That's all
comes
I
up to
need.
this one specific matchup,
You're
I'm toast.
screwed,
I'm
yeah.
toast. I have to take the loss here for me to go on.
Yeah, know your numbers.
Like it's
Well, there you go.
it's very
You
matchup.
help me get to 90%.
It's very well, and that we're in a good place in the meta for the card game where tons of decks are very viable.
Yeah.
There's some that are more viable than others, but for the most part, a lot of them are very playable. Things like Lucario was a very big card this weekend. The Lucario GX. It was funny because how sets work and how card legality works, especially when it comes to promo cards.
Yeah.
When it gets released, it becomes legal. I think the third Friday of that month. And Portland was the first ever tournament where this card was legal, and I think every 2 decks or 3 decks was Lucario GX, and it's actually a really cool card.
Can I build a whole deck of Squirtles?
You're gonna have
I
a
called
bet.
them the Squirtle Squad.
Ah!
I don't think there's a Squirtle that's legal in standard right now.
Whoa. Well, no wonder I'm not playing.
So,
It's true. Charmanders.
and on top of that, I actually had an opportunity to perform my professor's interview as well, which sort of qualifies me to do higher level events, higher than regionals, aka the World Championships. So hopefully that interview,
Regionals, then to nationals.
and then the semi-nationals, and then to quarters, and then semi-quarters. What the hell's regionals, anyways?
Yeah.
What the hell are regionals?
I thought this was regionals.
Yeah, so looking forward to that, seeing if that pans out. I'll leave it in their hands. I've been just climbing the ladder slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly.
Yeah.
I even made some contacts of people who work in the Pokemon company, which is super cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, so
Go for a tour.
No, I mean
Have them send us swag.
stuff we all get. Stuff we all get.
We'll advertise for them on
Give me a Pokemon.
the
game.
Barrel Roll News.
Oh, they're in charge of the cards, though.
Yeah, well, no, the
Pokemon
Pokemon. Well,
company.
the person I know now, I think he works in localization
Oh, yeah.
of the cards, and he literally made an off comment over the weekend. It's like, I know all the cards that are coming out until the end of the year. I'm
He
like,
would, because he's been working on making sure they're all in English.
right. I'm just like, wow, what's in your brain right now would change everyone's thoughts of what happens from here on in. It's kind of wild. But yeah, that was my weekend.
Cool.
Last weekend in Portland.
It's fun.
Super fun.
Once you're done, I have another thing that I forgot I've been doing because I've put a lot of time into it, and obviously it's fried my brain. But you go.
Is it World of Warcraft?
No, I already talked about it.
World of Warcraft fries brains.
It does. Where should I start?
At the beginning.
At the end.
At the end. The end is the
The
beginning.
only thing I played this week, other than Escapist, obviously, Finally beat pre-sequel story.
Nice.
Oh, Borderlands, right?
Yeah, that took a bit, and I needed help from a person that was a higher level than me.
Did you go rando or like your brother? Or
Yes, I went brother. I don't think you can go rando
Oh no.
in those ones. I don't think you can. You might. No, it was my brother.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same character. It's just he's farther along than me. The boss fight was... I didn't find it that bad, but he also soloed that boss fight by himself, and I don't know how he did it.
Well, everything, from my understanding, is if you've built your character right in Borderlands, you can kind of do anything.
Well, the final boss is kind of the thing guarded in the vault. And you have to fight it 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes in 4 different variations of the elements.
Oh, that's handy.
So if you have that element, it's not going to do anything to it.
I was gonna say you were doing resistive damage to it. You're not.
Yeah, and all you have to do, for the first part, all you have to do is knock down the shield, and it would go away, come back as a different element, and go on and so forth. Once you beat it, all 4 elements, it comes back as a giant object with 4 heads, and it would spin its heads around and once again do the elemental thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to beat it again. You have to destroy each face, and then it keeps rotating around.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you have to beat this boss 8 times.
Oh, that's grind.
That's huge.
And
That's a
I said
massive
when me and my brother did it, it took maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He said when he did it solo, it took him almost close to an hour
Cool.
to do it by
Oh.
himself.
How many resources do you have to burn through for something like that? That's
Well,
massive.
I mean, there are little enemies around that you can just take the ammo from, and
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many times he died, but he said it took almost an hour for him to do it solo. So I'm glad I had his help. Because I got up to that point without him, but then I realized I was at the final boss and like, oh, I may need you on this one.
Help! Help! Help!
Send out the beacon.
Oh, my special is 2 little drones that fly around. One attacks and one stays and heals me.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps.
I still remember the first Borderlands where I broke the game system. Where who had the turret in the first game?
The soldier.
The soldier. Yeah. So I had the
They
soldier.
didn't have names.
No,
back
they
in
didn't
the
have
first
names. So I had the turret. I spec'd it out to replenish my grenades
Yeah.
when I was near it, but I also equipped the grenades that sucked health from enemies when I threw it. So I just stood by the turret and threw grenades, sucked the health, regenerated my grenades, threw more of these grenades.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then the turret was shooting dudes at the same time. I'm like, why shoot a gun?
Well,
Why game? Grenade.
Grenade, heal, replenish grenade, heal.
and I think at the end of this, like the kind of closing video too, was an almost. I think it's probably going to lead to 3, whenever that decides to come out.
Yeah, whenever they pulled their pants and stopped making, they were making a MOBA, weren't they? Paragon.
Oh, Paragon.
Yeah,
They've made it. It's out. It's a game.
But isn't it done though? I thought they were stopping it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
There's
feel
a
like
couple MOBAs that have been stopped. Yeah.
I feel like Paragon was dropped.
So I mean, I beat the story. I'm going back and doing side
Everyone's
missions
having trouble right now.
and
Cleaning up trophies. Are you doing trophying?
doing some. I'm actually not. I haven't been lately, where I haven't been going out on my way. I'm just trying to finish games at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Although on a note, I did look. I am over 4,000 now.
4,000 total trophies?
Yes.
I don't know what I must be like 2.
I don't know.
I must be only 2.
I can't remember.
You're at 5.
Like
Yes.
But right
PlayStation
now,
trophies.
my thing is just trying to finish games. If I want to come in platinum, then I'll come back.
You just got closer, pancake.
Let me find my
Uh,
PlayStation app.
But yeah, and then there's also like a Vault Hunter mode. where
Is that like a
it's
prestige
increased. Yes, it's when the first area you go into, the guys are already level 30, but you continue on with your guy.
Do you have your equipment, or you start from?
Yeah, you start with your equipment. Everything you have when you ended the game goes into that one. So it's just continuation, just hard mode. I might try it. I don't know. Debating right now. Other than that, game-wise, I tried Fortnite for a bit.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, it depended on the game. Because there were games I find dropping down really slow.
It was. I think
Like,
we
compared to
experienced-
everyone else, I had to figure out the trick to it, but everyone's diving and landing way before I get there, and I'm
I
stuck
think
with
our
the
first
scraps.
couple games we were like, this seems really slow.
I believe the big piece is
You gotta lean for the lower parts.
No,
No.
don't you like open up and then kind of close back up.
You can do that, but the big trick to get down is not to go at any kind of. You just want to.
When I'm doing without the thing, I'm going as far as I can. Then auto deploys, and then I'm just going slow.
Or there's the people that jump out right when you can.
That's what I usually do.
And start arcing this way, so they seem like they get there faster, but they've actually jumped out of the plane way earlier.
Maybe. I don't know. I have issues with it.
I go as far as I can away from everybody. And
I was trying to, but it's hard to tell when people are jumping out and what the good area is.
I have informants if you want to know what the good areas are, because apparently the place that we kept landing, not a good area. There's no treasure chests there.
I would never have noticed that.
No.
I think my big thing is
you want the treasure chests because that's where the good items are.
That's right.
But that's where the most populated landing places are, so it's like there's
a high risk, high reward.
Yeah. But then there's like the medium places that have some treasure chests. But like, you know that fort we kept landing at with the big tall tower and the cabin? Mm-hmm. That's like the worst place to land because there's only one treasure chest on top of the tower.
Yeah.
No.
And the rest of it's just a forest. And I'm like, but the resources you can get from the forest. And it's like, that's nice. What? Build yourself what? And it's like, sorry.
I don't know.
I don't know this game.
I die quite fast in most games.
Yeah.
The melee weapon sucks. Like, you can't.
You're not supposed to really fight with it, though.
I've tried.
You're not it's like using your fist in PUBG. You don't.
I had no other choice in some cases where there's like, oh, okay, I'm screwed anyways.
Oh no! If you do not find a gun in any like battle royale game very quickly, you are hooped.
I'm finding the machine guns are better than the shotguns.
Oh yeah,
I like the shotguns in PUBG.
PUBG, the shotguns are nice.
Well, I don't know. I'm just playing Fortnite, so.
But again, and that's the piece is PUBG. When you go into a room, the shotgun's handy because it's that initial, like, you turn the corner, see a guy, and
the big thing is in PUBG, the difference with Fortnite is that you miss with a shotgun. In Fortnite, you could be taking apart the wall.
Right.
In PUBG, it just hits the wall. And, you don't think anything of it. You could. There's so much more potential in Fortnite in that regards.
Yeah.
I am not a builder. I do not build things.
Some would say that we're not builders either. We just gotta build whatever
things.
We just build whatever we want.
We built a fort the one time, and then the shield destroyed it.
The most I killed was 2 in a match.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Those are good numbers, man.
And that game I lasted till I was like 4th.
That's actually really good.
That's really good.
Remember our first game in PUBG? I think. Wait, you got like top 10, right? Because we were waiting for Brian to install, so we decided to jump in.
Yeah, we did one really good match of PUBG where we were there till like as duos there till almost the bitter end, and it just came down to the dog, like the fight at the end where they got the better shot.
The high ground.
They had the high ground.
Yeah, so
it's surprising how much high ground affects in these games.
That's just I know. That was just solo mode. I would be interested in trying multiplayers. I know I accepted you and Brian as friends on there, so
on the sure.
If we are available sometime, it'd be interesting to try and squad.
Yeah, because you can still do the PS4 to PC.
Yeah.
Unofficially, officially.
Yeah, none of us play at Xbox, so you're okay.
Well, there is on the top. There is on the top right where it's like finding other players from same platform or that type of thing. It'd be interesting to see how I play against computer people. With our mighty weapons.
It
almost seemed like I was trying to sneak up on someone in one of my first games, and he turned around like he knew I was there.
Yeah, because sound is a big thing.
Sound's part of it.
Okay.
Because you can hear...
Yeah, and 2, it's, that third-person camera.
Okay, I had a shotgun, so it was like I was trying to get as close as I could to them, but
yeah.
Before I shot, they turned around on me. And
that third-person thing's a big thing, too, because even PUBG, I mean, there was fights over whether first-person or third-person was, like, the legit way to play PUBG.
In this one, I take third.
I toss between...
It depends on what I'm trying to do, obviously. Like, if you're trying to snipe someone, first person's the way to...
Well, it depends. If you have a scorpion gun, then...
Yeah.
With going into first person, it's a big piece of, like, I need to scope out ahead of me.
Yeah.
My third person view is not enough.
That wide,
It's not enough. And I know I have a 2x or 4x scope on my firearm.
But I'm noticing definitely in this game that I may have joined too late, because I am just... Maybe that's my issue.
Well, I mean, we're going to be on the same... Oh, Jesus. We're on the same...
owned right now.
We're on the same... We would be all
A lot of people are dressed as John Wick.
Yeah.
And that's showing me that they played a game for a long time.
Well, for us, we have none of that. Well, I'm getting a call.
You guys are just popular right now.
Hold on. I got to call. I'm going to send a message to say I'll call back.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to take this call. I'm not rude.
It's like, if
I'm
you guys
not
all
rude.
pitching me at the same time.
Goodbye! Tell us what else you've been playing.
That's all I've been playing. I was really hoping for more this week, but I got kind of busy with stuff.
But, what else have you been up to?
I've been I caught up to the Marvel Marathon now,
Yes.
so I had to watch 2 movies this week. It was Ant-Man and Civil War, which kind of tie into each other a bit. Both still really good.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of Civil War. Just
Yeah,
'cause you have
Civil War's-
everyone in there.
Civil War is kind of insane.
Such
What
a
did you
good
get?
film. More cables,
Cable, all the things.
so I can put the other screen back over there.
Gotcha.
Yes. I watched. Then I watched. What was that? Office Christmas Party.
Oh, is that done on the Flixnet?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it
And
is.
that was the only way I would watch it because I wasn't sure about this movie, so I wanted to test it out on Netflix first before I looked into buying it.
Mm-hmm.
It was not bad.
Good.
It has a lot of big
Who's in
kind
it
of
again?
names in it.
Jason Bateman.
Isn't
Jennifer Aniston.
Isn't the
is
guy
in
that
it.
does Falcon Anthony Mackie in that one?
No.
Oh. I thought he was in one of those.
No,
like,
he's
Office-
in Game Night.
Oh, that's. No.
Is he in Game
No,
Night?
he's not in Game
No.
Night. That's the guy from New Girl. I'm getting my people confused because we've been watching.
No,
New
he's
Girl.
he's in an Office Christmas Party.
No, he's not.
Not Office Christmas Party, like in an Office movie.
Oh, he was in The Last Christmas, or no? He was with Seth
with Seth
Rogen.
Rogen
Yeah,
and
I know what you're
some-
talking about. Yeah,
Was it JGL?
JJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I can't remember.
But that was
the
like
one.
a few years back.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Jennifer Aniston's in this.
In this Office Christmas Party. That's
Office
the movie.
Christmas Party, yes.
That's the movie we're
Jason
referencing.
Bateman. The blonde from Ghostbusters.
Jennifer. No. Not
Kate
Jennifer.
McKinnon.
Yes.
Okay.
She's in it
She's fat.
as the uptight person. Yeah, I know. It was really weird to see her in that. She was super
Still need
uptight.
to watch that Ghostbusters. Is it on Netflix yet?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I own it.
But
No.
I mean, like I said, it's not a bad movie. They tried to do a Fast and the Furious thing at the end. Well, they talked about it.
Were
at
they
the start.
reversing really far, like
No.
fast, and they were staring each other in the eyes
It
while
was
they were reversing?
it was because they were watching a bridge go up, and they're like, "What do you think of speed we'd have to go in? Do you think they'd be able to do that in Fast and the Furious?"
Was that on Netflix?
No, I have it on my Google Play.
Oh, that's Google Play. Gotcha. Like it looks like Netflix.
I got it as a bundle.
Anyways,
They did have a funny scene where they were I can't remember the main guy's name.
Jason Bateman.
No, the other one.
Jason Bateman.
He's in Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
Oh,
from
Miller.
Silicon Valley. Yes.
Yes.
T.J. Miller.
Frank.
T.J. Miller, yes. They actually had a scene where they're at the start where they're having a Nerf gun fight in a store. I was like, that'd
course.
be awesome. That'd be so awesome to do. Where he wanted to give a Christmas gift out as it was a massager, but he thought it was a massager, but it was a vibrator.
Yeah.
So, and that's where he gives it to the lady. And, oh, I always wanted a vibrator. It's a massager.
Technically, he's not wrong.
I know.
Massaging the wrong parts.
But yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
The movie. I'll probably go out and buy it.
Yeah.
Whenever I see it again, because I keep seeing it in these stores, and I've been wanting to watch it. But finally got around to it. Other than that, I finished Jessica Jones.
Did
Good
you
on
enjoy?
you.
Did you enjoy it?
They really do villains well.
Yeah.
I didn't even think she was a villain.
Nope.
Like it, yeah, it was good.
I'm still on episode 2. I've gotten like nothing done for streaming wise, or
Oh,
Well, you watched Alters.
I watched
No,
2
two
episodes of
episodes.
Altered Carbon.
You're doing the sampler and not doing the full,
Yeah, I know.
full meal.
Well, because again, I don't know how long I have to like sit, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I don't know, I'll watch this for now.
But I don't know. They do their villains well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you go
yeah.
back to Daredevil with Fisk.
Oh, Fisk was really well done,
I,
which
think
was
that, I don't think
surprising.
the hand was. That was eh.
Still, oddly enough, the weakest villains are from Iron Fist.
That's because they only had one villain.
But the Meachums were a good piece of Iron
Yes,
Fist.
they were.
Yes.
They were.
Just not that villain.
No.
I didn't expect it to end that way,
Neither did I.
but it does set
I
up a
mean,
little bit for season 3.
It sets
Which
up.
I have a theory about it. But
I'm interested to see how it pans out for the rest of the Defenders. Not so
But
much the
if you
Defenders
watch-
season 2,
But if you watch Defenders, though, you look it up, like everything says it has like 2 seasons or 1 season or whatever. Defenders only says it's limited series.
Yeah,
So
they
they
are
might
not-
not even do anything.
yeah, that's sort of the theory. The theory crafting is that they're not going to get to a 3rd or 2nd season of Defenders.
Which is fine.
I think
let
that's
them
fine.
do their own thing.
Like I said, as long as you get a Heroes for Hire instead of like I'd take a Heroes for Hire over another Defenders.
And
I think
I guess
we
we gotta
that's-
see how Luke Cage does.
Yeah.
I think Luke Cage will knock it out of the ballpark
Yeah.
again. That
It
seems.
depends.
Well, it depends if they go
they swap villains in
part 1 or part 2.
The early stuff seems cool for,
Yes.
for Luke Cage season 2. But yeah, Jessica
Like I
Jones,
said,
super
like
cool.
I said, Netflix seems to do well with the villains.
Season
And
2
it's-
is really good.
I do agree with kind of some of the reviewers. 13 episodes may have been too long.
That's usually the biggest critique of those.
Although I feel like 13 episodes for season Jessica Jones,
Even still,
they panned it out quite well, better than I thought they would. It's still some
it
of
didn't
the,
need to
No.
go on about some of these things.
the what's the guy's name again? Her
assistant.
assistant. What was his name? Like that his character arc near the end was kind of unnecessary.
There was one character where I felt maybe she shouldn't have had anything to do.
I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, I think I know.
I think she had no impact.
Carrie Ann Fishers.
I was
Yes.
gonna say Hogarth.
Yeah.
Because I even got that even off of like the first couple.
Like she
episodes.
hasn't.
She has like maybe 2 sequences with Jessica Jones.
I'd be interested to see what she does at the end if that's going to tie into something later.
right because
But her whole thing, it's like really.
yeah, like I said, I think I mentioned that too.
You did
like,
mention that one.
Like hers was the least impactful. Like there's nothing to be had from her storyline other than the fact that she's just a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, Hogarth. And I think they honestly just throw that in because they're trying to do
Hogarth
the
is
world-building
another
piece
one of
too.
those.
Overarching something.
Yeah,
she's
they're
a-
in more than one series.
Yeah.
And yeah, the 5 seconds of Foggy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
I
man,
was
he's
hoping
gonna
for
be the
more
best part of
cameos.
the Daredevil. Oh, wait, he's gone again.
I was hoping for more cameos.
Well, they did have that one episode at the very end with that one character.
Still.
That was cool. I loved that entire sequence. That was so
We'll have
good.
to, and we'll have to see, because I mean, a big part of it is the Netflix series Ziz started pushing way too fast to come
Yeah.
out, and that's where you got some of the you got the Hand, which wasn't developed well because it was like, oh, Daredevil season 1 did so well,
Well, then you
push it.
Well, they
then
were
you see
kind of in the
Iron
first
Fist
one.
as well is
Yeah.
a prime example of that. Let's
Yeah.
get this guy in to do martial arts. Wait,
Does
doesn't
he know martial arts?
No.
That's
maybe
fine.
maybe
We'll base it off his acting skill.
That helped.
I'm the immortal Iron Fist.
Oh my god, someone did a meme the other day and it was like, hello, I am Danny Rand. And then the Doctor Strange, it's like, hi, I'm Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using our made up names? In that case, I am Iron Fist.
I'm the
Enemy
im-
of the hand.
Sworn enemy
Enemy of the hand. And protector of Kunlun. Then I'm like, ah.
We're using a made up name. Oh, that's great. That's good, actually.
Stupid Iron Fist.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm hopeful for Iron Fist season 2.
Next, I believe, next Luke Cage.
Next is Luke Cage.
Then after that, I think it's Daredevil.
Daredevil and
Phil? No, Punisher. Punisher. Is
No,
it?
Daredevil.
I thought they were
Punisher
filming
just finished.
I thought they were filming another Punisher.
They just finished filming another Punisher, I think.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or they just started filming.
No, they were wrapping up on Daredevil. I thought.
I don't know.
So
They're all
many things
over the
happen. Just stop.
What
yes. Wait, what?
What?
Sorry, I don't know.
The
What,
Marvel stuff?
I don't know.
you're gonna be sorely disappointed.
Yeah, they're gonna keep pushing.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing, I loved Punisher.
Punisher was
I'm
good.
starting. I can't get into it. I don't know.
You got it. You should. It doesn't tie into anything.
It
Yeah, I
and
get
it
it.
doesn't tie in anything other than Karen. But
yeah, unless as long as you watch it before Daredevil season 3, I think she'd be fine.
yeah, Punisher was good. Jessica Jones, like I said, I've gotten into 2 episodes, but just kidding. You don't have to be like legitimately. After Iron Fist, I wasn't sure.
I was yes.
Even the Defenders was like,
He was better.
but even for a team up thing, the Defenders was, it had good moments. Like it wasn't.
I think the Chinese restaurant sequence was my favorite.
Yeah.
It was like that is the most memorable part of the Defenders, and it's like there were 7 other episodes, and it's like all right, but like dark fight scenes, and that was the big pieces.
The underground.
Well, but that's the big pieces. We watched Daredevil, and went like, oh my god, Fortnite.
Oh.
Like we watched Daredevil, and we got amazing choreography for fight scenes.
Good character development.
Good character development.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got
Yeah.
into Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Twisted things in a different way, and it wasn't like my cup of tea, but it wasn't a bad show.
Yeah.
And then
Luke
halfway
Cage.
through Luke Cage,
Yes.
everything started going to junk. And not junk,
Yeah.
but like
The first half of Luke Cage was just spot on.
I was like, this is a good show. This is a good show. It's got a style. And that style legitimately flipped halfway through that show. And not for storytelling reasons.
I don't follow that.
Yes? All right. So, like, it flipped halfway through that show. And it's like, and it wasn't a storytelling thing where it's like, oh, look, his world got flipped, turned upside down.
No, it's
and
a clear
like,
directorial change.
Yeah, it's like clearly, someone from up top was like, get this done, let's go. Like, finish it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the big thing is...
Well, maybe that's the 13 going on too long.
And that's part of it. And then we got Iron Fist, and it was just like, what happened?
So much promise.
Well, and Iron Fist can be a really cool character.
I think their take on it was way too thin. It could have been so much more.
They focused not enough on Danny Rand and Iron Fist.
The immortal Iron Fist?
Yes.
Who again?
It's an enemy of the hand.
Oh, what is he? What is his name again?
Iron
What is his role?
Protector of Finland.
Who does he fight?
I'm gonna cut this off here.
He's an enemy of the hand.
I think with this Jessica Jones though, I think it's really boosted her up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I said,
I think I still think Daredevil is probably the top.
Oh yeah, that's not.
But I think she has kind of jumped into.
See, and Daredevil wins on a big note because he was the first one out of the gate, and they spent so much time developing him. And Drew Goddard, showrunner wise, put a lot into that show before he left, and it shows. So again.
Yeah.
And after Iron Fist, it was like, oh, we got to slow down on these because, like, the quality is just...
Yeah.
And then that's where you see Jessica Jones, I think, back on this upswing of, like, oh, they're starting to care again.
She's definitely moved into second for me.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. If Luke Cage can come back and actually do what the first half of the first season did, I think it's going to be like, oh, good. They're competing to be good.
My issue with him is... there is no one that could keep up with his power.
But that's okay.
And that's where you have to tell a different
story.
story.
And that's where you need to hit him where it hurts a different way.
Yeah.
The community.
True. But that's just my thing with him is there's no villain that...
No, and I get that. That's
other than apparently the Hand. The Hand could take him on.
And that was the other problem with the bloody Defenders.
They could hit him.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Clearly this.
Yes, and that's it for me. That's all I've been. I didn't get as much done this week.
I legitimately it was like
I did play a few more
busy 'cause
PUBG games on the phone, and man,
hockey
killing
playoffs.
bots is easy.
Just hockey playoffs.
Yeah.
But
that's
all done. So.
I did get another chicken dinner on mobile.
Nice.
Mobile PUBG.
Against them bots.
No, I actually started going into a squad with randos, so
Okay.
I think there's less bots in that mode.
You hope so.
I don't know. It doesn't really tell you.
No, it won't tell you if they're bots or not.
No.
What was your last thing?
Planet Coaster.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Your big dude.
You can make a parking lot. That's all I got from when you guys were messaging that day.
So I was cleaning this area.
Yes.
This is actually
much to my dismay.
I started over there and then I worked my way in this way. But I turned on they turned on they pretty much announced DLC and it was coming out this week. They announced it last week as like, surprise, we've been working on this.
Sure.
And everybody's like, whoa. So then the thing that Frontier likes to do is they do a Twitch cast.
Yeah.
And they have one of the developers, one of the community people kind of go through the game, showing off a bunch of the new features. So one of the things they added, when you add terrain, it's just a spray can of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they finally added concrete options because the new update was the Hollywood, or the studio update, sorry, not Hollywood, but the studio update. So essentially you can build a film studio type thing. So you can build Hollywood, Universal Studios, and that kind of stuff. So, so you can build that kind of stuff. And then part of that was they included a bunch of new cars and a bunch of new vehicles. So you can put, like, I spent a lot of time building a bus because I moved the entrance.
You have to actually physically build the bus.
So you can make a separate parking lot away from your
So what
stuff,
so
right?
what happens is in the scenario editor you can actually change where people come into your park. So I was building in the scenario editor and I had built a bus out of a bunch of different shapes. Like I'd put a bunch of shapes together in an attempt to make like a bus-shaped object.
Rectangles?
Sure.
Rectangles with some curves and that kind of stuff.
Windows help.
There's no windows
On a bus?
in the game.
Oh.
They've now with this update,
You sealed them in.
there are windows. I would just put like a
You
colored
take away the door.
I would just put a colored rectangle on and tint it to the right color, make it look like a... So you can build some crazy stuff in this game with the shapes they give you. My bus was a semblance of a bus.
Yeah.
And it worked. But I spent a good couple hours building a bus. And the parking lot, because the parking lot used to have to use the pathing structure and just build a giant plot of
It
land.
doesn't sound like much, but...
But again, you're going one square at a time to build a parking lot.
Yeah.
And
There's no like auto-generate.
path?
Yeah.
No, not for that kind of thing. So their pathing system is very special. Frontier is very happy with their pathing system. It's like one of the big parts to their game.
Yeah.
Either way, now I built a path, so a sidewalk,
Yeah.
spray painted the ground, parking lot, because I can now spray paint asphalt onto so I can just
Okay.
make it look like that. Dropped a bus in, because they now have a bus item. So you just drop it in. I snuck the spawn point into there. And the spawn point's a little bit too big. So I just have a second bus that looks like it's pulling up next to the other bus.
Yeah.
And passing it so it hides the spawn point. And the thing that took me 5 hours before to try and complete and make it like just so took me all of an hour. Or half an hour at that, because it was like... And then it was just sculpting the landscape around everything to kind of do what I wanted to do. So all of a sudden I'm like actually building a park again instead of just trying to do all the aesthetic stuff on the outside. Along with that, they've released a few new rides. So one of them, there's like this thing that your four seats are attached to, and there's apparently a Harry Potter ride.
Is it actually themed Harry Potter?
Do you
No,
ride
no,
on
no,
a-
no,
or is
Do
it
you
just
ride
wizards?
on a broom?
No, so essentially what this is if
Train?
you go to
Yes,
Universal
train is good too.
Florida into the Harry Potter place, you take a tour of Hogwarts, and that's essentially what this seat is you sit in it, and it goes, and it shows you, like, this floor, and then the arm will take you down to this floor, and, like, so it moves, and it can go 360. So that's what they've put into the game, is you can do, like, a kind of haunted house tour or something like that, and then if you need to, you can go against a parabolic screen, so that it actually puts you into something. So I'm trying to build a ride now where it goes from screen to screen to screen. So all you're seeing is like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
But you're just like, oh, I'm actually like on a ride, man, but I'm on a different ride instead, because it's a smaller way of building a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's like the Star Wars rides in Disneyland where they essentially sit you in a room, move your seats around while displaying something on a screen, and you're like, it's like I'm there!
Alright.
Like they do, like they manage to, with those rides, make it so when the ship lurches, your stomach legitimately feels like you're taking those drops.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what this ride is, very much like you can take it through a smaller space and it can show off the space, which is kind of cool. On top of that, no, that's not what I wanted to do. There.
So yeah.
On top of that, they've released a Drop of Doom ride. So it's a sequence ride.
But you can like customize your own Drop of Doom, right?
So essentially what it is, they've started doing is just building the base set. So it's just the steel poles and the elevator that shifts. Now, you can't change a lot of stuff. The sequence is always still the same. So it rotates,
Yeah.
backs up, goes into a elevator shaft, goes up to the next floor, takes you on a slight like forward momentum tour, goes into another elevator shaft where it goes up a floor, drops, opens a door, goes up, drops, goes up, drop. You are correct. I don't. Apparently that didn't work, so I'm gonna have to do something else. But so
Sounds busy.
yeah. So either way, and then I haven't really gotten into a lot of the other expansions. Like there's an adventure DLC that I never got into, and a spooky DLC that I never really jumped into. So there's all this extra stuff going on.
Yeah.
And so I finally actually started building a park. I have a castle in the middle, and like I'm building beyond the castle instead of focusing from the front. I'm like, oh, I want to do this in the back. So that's what I've been doing. Either way, it's very exciting.
Totally.
Because now I don't have to spend 5 hours building a parking lot and going, I'm not so happy with that bus. Now it's just like, no, bus.
Cool.
So yeah,
Cool.
that part's very nice. Very, very nice.
Cool.
Very nice. I'm trying to, where's this
So,
thing?
yeah, but that's
Yes.
it. That's it for
That's
us this
everything?
week.
That is us.
That is us for now.
For now.
Yeah, if you liked what you saw here, come join us next week. We talk about a whole new set of stories
Hopefully.
And things we've been doing
and
for
things
this
watching,
week.
work.
And watching.
watching and doing,
Work
and
is going to
experiencing.
start again.
Yeah, you guys have been off this week, so
You work.
I'm actually surprised you
Not
guys.
till
Your
Tuesday.
guys' list is not as long as I thought it would be.
That took a lot of time.
I guess that's true. So, that being said, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
I think that's it for us.
Bye.
Any lasting thoughts?
Bye.
Stay in school.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.